What is going on, world-class athletes? In this video, I'm gonna walk you through exactly how you can get effortless power on your serve. And along each phase of the shot, we're gonna use Federer, Djokovic, and Nadal from multiple angles. And you're gonna learn the two most important elements and checkpoints that you must achieve to get that effortless power. You'll see that each one of these top players creates what's known as the pro drop position, and they also create virtually identical contact points. By you mastering and creating these two elements, it's really gonna allow you to start tapping into so much force and power on your serve. So let's jump right in to exactly how you can use your trunk, exactly how to get that depth in the racket drop, and exactly how to master that contact. So the reason why it's so critical for you to master the position of your trunk is because by you getting these key checkpoints right, of number one, having the trunk in a laterally tilted position. Number two, having the trunk in a rotated position. And number three, having the trunk or the spine in an extended position. What this is gonna allow you to do is transfer more force from your leg drive, from your core, into the downward racket head speed, creating the pro drop to get effortless pop just like that going up into serve. I'm gonna grab a few more balls. Let me just bring these over here. So basically, what we wanna focus on in this first sequence is for you to master that positioning of the trunk. So if you're not familiar with these specific values, what you can do is you can actually record yourself from a side angle and make sure you're implementing the first dimension correctly, which is gonna be the lateral tilt. So what I want you to do in drill number one is you're gonna focus on tossing, bending, and making sure that your shoulders start pointed downward and back, just like that. This is key to getting that upward and rotational force going into the serve. The second thing that you're gonna master is the rotation of the trunk. So as you toss, you wanna make sure that the trunk is gonna be laterally tilted, but also that you wanna have the trunk rotated at about a 45-degree angle facing that back fence. The last ingredient is making sure that with the lateral tilt and the rotation, you wanna make sure that the trunk is back. Now, the reason why this is so important for you and is truly what allowed me to transform my serve, because I remember when I was serving, I would just be like trying so hard. I'd be like hitting the ball like, I gotta get it in. And I would get some shots in, but really, what really was the breakthrough was logically understanding exactly the technique, because you don't have to be super strong or in shape. If you master this technique, you're gonna tap into the biomechanics, you're gonna tap into the optimal muscles. It's gonna feel sensational. So essentially, by achieving these three dimensions now with the trunk back, this is going to create the maximum runway of the upward force of this elbow. With the right elbow traveling in an upward fashion, this is gonna create the maximum amount of speed in that racket drop position. And a really common mistake that I've seen so many of my students make that we've transformed and broke through on their serve is a lot of times what they'll do is, number one, they won't laterally tilt. So they'll be about like this. They'll have their chest about parallel to the court surface. And basically what this does is they don't have enough of a runway to go up into the serve, so they can get it in, but it won't be that maximum power. So like I said, getting that lateral tilt, getting that full acceleration, you can get so much more power going in. The second thing that people really make common mistakes on, with their rotation, they'll rotate, but they won't get their trunk to be upward. And as a result, they'll come around the side and they'll get kind of a weaker serve. Not only are you gonna get more pro drop, but you're also gonna get a higher contact point as opposed to coming around like that, which is gonna give you more power and more consistency hitting the ball down into the court just like that. So now that you know really how to position your trunk, of getting the trunk laterally tilted, getting the trunk rotated towards the back fence, and also having it up to create that pop, just like that on the serve. The second thing that we're gonna master is the positioning of the racket face when you drive your legs. Now, it's super critical for you to understand that if you drive your legs successfully, as you'll see with Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, they're all gonna drive their legs with the tip pointed up just like that. The reason why this is so powerful and is truly the key for you to transform your serve, and is how I actually transform my serve, is that when you drive the legs with the tip up in this position, it's gonna create more downward force going into that pro drop position. This is because with the racket in a higher position, it not only is gonna create more downward force, but it's also gonna give you more of a runway to create racket head speed going into that pro drop position. And I've seen it time and time again. So many players are making the common mistake of they do everything perfectly on their serve, but they just drive their leg with the racket low. And essentially that's not gonna allow you to get that whip. And what you'll see with the greatest servers of all time, like Andy Roddick or Opelka right now, who has a huge serve, is they're actually not only driving their legs from this position, they're actually driving their legs with the racket here. With it timed there with the leg drive, you're gonna get so much force and effortless whip going into your serve. So that's the second thing to master. And one of my favorite drills that I found to be so effective working with players is using 2 rackets. So what you wanna do is grab 2 rackets just like this and focus on driving your legs with the tip pointed up. And what you'll feel when you do this is, as the tip is up, you're gonna feel the weight of the racket naturally lag behind the leg drive, the rotation, and the lateral tilt of the trunk, all while you're raising that elbow up. And as you feel the weight of the racket lag behind, what's happening is you're creating that stretch or that counter force in that shoulder muscle through the shoulder external rotation. So you're getting so much more downward racket head speed, which then, once you finish doing that drill, you can go right back into serving. Focus on getting that checkpoint of the racket tip up to start feeling so much pop. Nice, here we go, match point. I love pressure. Always tell myself, yes. Another thing, a mindset tip that I absolutely love that transformed my serve as well is loving pressure. Pressure truly is a privilege. All right, so now we've covered exactly how to position your trunk, exactly how to position the hand as it relates to the leg drive. The last thing I would love for you to master that's gonna give you that effortless power is that contact point. So as you'll see with the best players in the world, they're gonna have their trunk positioned in front, as you can see, the arm positioned in front, and then also you'll see that the racket is in a radially deviated position. Now the reason why this is so powerful is if I have my racket in an ulnar deviated position, what you'll see is that as I do shoulder internal rotation, the racket's not even moving. It's like, what's happening? But now, if I make that shift in a radially deviated position, look at how much power that the shoulder is generating. Another awesome tip is having the finger positioned above the rest of the hands. That index finger is gonna give you more leverage to be able to pop it. So a fantastic drill that I absolutely love, building on what we've learned so far about the perfect trunk position, the hitting arm, the leg drive timing, is focusing on tossing the ball by using more abduction, tossing it more inside the court, and focusing on really getting your trunk and your arm in front. And you can actually go and spike the ball down just like that, hitting it directly down. I'm telling you right now, if you've never had this, it feels so effortless. It feels so good. Putting everything that you learned together today of that lateral tilt, that trunk rotation, spinal extension, leg drive with the tip up to create the pro drop in the perfect contact with the raised index finger, you're gonna be able to piece those elements together to get so much effortless pop on the serve. And you can even do variations of spiking the ball down, drive the legs, and courage. Yes, you gotta have courage if you wanna grow that serve. So world-class athlete, I hope you absolutely loved this video today. I had such a pleasure, an amazing time shooting it for you. My goal is to be the greatest online trainer in history, completely transform and allow you to massively grow your serve. So I'd love for you to comment below the #1 takeaway, the #1 tip, the #1 thing that you loved about this video. And if you wanna take this to the next step, get more advanced coaching, click the link in the bottom of the description. Head on over to my website where we can work together more one-on-one. I can't wait to see you on next week's video. Let's go!